Hey guys, so let's jump straight into this training on how to make your nutrition easy. Now, this is the topic we get the most questions on all of the time. It's the one that creates the most confusion. So we're going to jump into how to simplify it. So the first thing you need to do is create a very automated sequence and system to how you view nutrition. What kills and what ruins most people's attempts of losing weight or staying on track is options. They walk into a supermarket and they will see everything in the aisle. They'll get confused. They'll get in the mood for this. They'll get in the mood for that. And they'll start to just throw it all in the trolley. And before they know it, they've overeaten. Or they'll be on the run. They'll go for the convenience food, looking around the sandwich store. They'll choose the thing that they like the most. Yeah. So emotion takes over most of the time. So it's just scatty. It's all over the place. So here's a list of things we need to do. So we need to make your nutrition automated. So we're going to go into that in a moment. The big thing is, like we just said, do not let emotion take over. Now, food is a very emotional um, subject in terms of we eat to be social, we eat when we're stressed, we eat when we're annoyed, we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're happy, we drink when we do the same things. So we have to use data and numbers to try and nullify that emotion. So another big thing we need to do is always plan our next meals. Yeah, so you should be planning them all the time. So whatever you're eating at lunch now, already have one eye on what's coming next. What am I going to have for my evening meal? Nothing is more obvious that someone hasn't got a clue what they're doing if you ask them what they're eating next and they don't know. Yeah, so you must have, you might not know the exact meal, but you must have one eye on what is coming in the next meal. So pick and choose from your selection list, which is what I go through now. Do the same for the weekend, and we need to choose and memorize 3 to 5 meals. So what do I mean by this? So all of our meals are made up of carbs, fats, proteins, and veg. Now, what most people do is they think of every single carb in the world, every single fat in the world, every single protein in the world, every single veg in the world, get overwhelmed, get paralyzed with what they're actually supposed to do, and just think, sod it, I'll eat everything and anything. So in these lists, there are certain things you are always going to lean towards. So I've just got examples here. I might not have every single example. So for carbs, for example, we have, the obvious things like rice, potato, and pasta. Those are the things that you're going to lean towards. Bread, the other one. So what we're looking to do here is really choose what our preferences are. Now, when you're beginning, this is so important to start to change behaviors, because if you're doing one thing that's really drastically bad and you go and try and do a food plan which is really drastically rigid and clean, then you're not going to sustain that. It's going to be too much of a shift. So what we have to do is keep you doing the things you're doing, but refine them in an accelerated way. So if we are leaning towards things like pasta and you're eating too much of it, then the main thing we need to do is just keep you eating pasta, because that's giving you the taste that you want, but bring down the volume of it. So what we need to do with all of these things is find the ones that we like, find the ones that our meals want to be made up of, and start to build some meals out. So what we can do here is build a certain amount of meals which we automatically know the calorie content, the carb content, fat content, and protein content, and we just put them in and go. Now, what most people are doing at the moment is, or when they start particularly, is they have no plan. They're already eating the same meals over and over again, but they're choosing too much volume or putting the wrong choices together. So, like I just said, even if you've got the worst diet in the world, it would still consist of the same worst foods in the world. Whether it's you consistently go to McDonald's or consistently go to Domino's or consistently drinking bottles of Coke or whatever it is. We humans are creatures of habit. We always go towards the same thing. So all we need to do is swap the bad stuff that you've done in the past and replace it with good things that you're going to do for the future. So what we can do is build meals from carbs, fats, proteins, and veg. Now, if we're looking to tweak a certain meal, let's say, for example, we're looking to just lower carbs down on a certain day, then we would literally just minimize how much of the carb list that we intake. Yeah, so often we have a question like, what's a low carb meal? Yeah, so a low carb meal is a meal involving all of that, but carbs are low. Yeah, so how low they have to be is obviously dependent on you as the individual and what we've discussed with you personally. So again, if we're looking for a high protein diet, what's a high protein meal? We increase the protein in the protein list and we decrease we don't even have to decrease them, but we increase the protein and be mindful of the level the other stuff is at. So we choose our favorites from each list and we start to build meals. So for example, we could have bread, eggs. Now eggs would cater for fats and protein, so you'd hit a double whammy there, and you might have some asparagus with that. So there's a meal boxed off. Yeah. Now that is going to be one of your favorites that goes into your list. Now, what you have to make sure is that every meal you choose and all the nutrition you choose has a strong, what me and Rob always relate to as a strong return of investment. So by that, we want your food to be this list, because if it isn't, then you're going to feel like you're going without, you're going to feel like you're over dieting, you're going to feel like you're missing out, and you're going to overeat at some point and get caught back in that diet cycle. So everything you eat has to taste nice. It has to fill you up for a long time in terms of to the next meal. It leaves you with no need for snacking because you're full, and it fits within your calories. So that's the same for all of these meals. They have to fit within your calories. And, you know, volume of food is always going to be someone's biggest issue. So how do we do it? So here's some examples. Now, these are just 4 different examples of breakfasts that I tend to cycle through. Yeah. So some of them, as we go on, I've just put examples in what I've seen other people eat. So, but I never deviate from this list. And that's what's important. And Rob would have his list. He's gone through his process of choosing his carbs, protein, fat, and veg. And he's always putting them together to make meals. But the list is always repeated over and over again. So for Monday, I might have the muesli, which is normally, because I'm out and about, it's from Pret. So I haven't got to think about it. I don't go into Pret and browse the shelves because there's no need to. All you're going to do there is give yourself too many options, too much confusion, and you'll just end up eating something rubbish. Yeah. Or it will switch you to being what you're in the mood for. 9 times out of 10 with food, you're going to be in the mood for something that is got a lot of fat and a lot of sugar in it. And that's why people get so addictive to those kinds of food, because it's what the brain is always craving. So I've got some simple fiber, which I would have a protein shake with that as well, which I've not put on. So that's 370 calories. So I already know these calories, yeah? Again, the Sainsbury's 3 ration backers, 1 sourdough roll, 1 egg large. So this is, again, a prep option. It's something I've seen a couple of the guys who we're coaching at the moment eat. And again, it's better, like it's systemized. It's 430 calories. It's 43 carbs. It's 20 odd grams fat. It's 20 odd grams protein. It's systemized. We haven't got to think about it. So now we know it's 430 calories and all those numbers. We know we're not going to be overeating if we stick to these meals. And the same, and the last one, egg, salmon, and 2 slices of toast. Same thing. We're systemizing it. We're automating it. Lunchtime. Again, these are some examples. Heck, chicken sausages, feta cheese with a salad. Yeah, the calories are there. So what I'm not doing on a daily basis is thinking of all the food that's in the local Sainsbury's and trying to make meals up on the spot, because again, you're just going to get pulled into confusion. So let's systemize what you're doing. So what are going to be your go-to meals? Yeah, whether it's a sandwich from a shop, choosing on that return of investment. Is it taste nice? Does it fit within your calories? Does it keep you full for longer? Yeah. Does it stop you from overeating, basically? So again, these are all systemized, automated. I do not think about food Monday to Friday. Yeah. Because I'm literally just rotating these lists. Now, when it does come to a weekend, obviously we can do the same thing with eating out and alcohol. So you're always going to choose the same kind of alcohol. You're always going to choose the same kind of restaurants that you go to. So you can systemize them. So for me, I would always, if I eat out, it would all 95% of the time, 90% of the time, it would be steak. Yeah, so I know how many calories are in steak. I know where I'd go. So I know what I'm going to have with that. So it's not an overthought process. It's very straightforward and very to the point, because like I said, people get confused and overwhelmed with nutrition when they give themselves too many options. So here's some dinner choices. Again, I don't think about food Monday to Friday. I literally just copy, paste, repeat, copy, paste, repeat. And then Saturday is the takeaway day, or Sunday is the eat a little bit more day. So I allow myself that day to be a bit more random. But if you're doing this automated system and you've got your set meals, so I choose 3 to 5 meals for each day, for each type, then you can't go wrong. Yeah. So, guys, I hope that helps. I just want to go through this again. So, make your nutrition automated. Do not let emotion take over. You will only start to lose your grasp on nutrition when your emotion takes the lead. And that will come when you've not organized and when you've not planned it. So, plan your next meal consistently. Never leave it to chance. Don't leave it to what you're in the mood for, because you're most likely going to be in the mood to eat junk, because that's what the brain wants you to do. Pick and choose your selection from the list. So let's go through these. Pick your favorites, make meals out of them. And again, they're going to be very, very close to what you're already doing, but we're controlling this more. Yeah, we're making it fit within our calories. It leaves you without feeling the need for snacks. So that's going to stop you overeating. So stick to all this stuff and your nutrition should be completely locked down. Hope that helped, guys.